Hi, I'm here to talk about Batman Mystery of the Batwoman. And growing up, out of the films that at least I thought were based off of Batman the Animated Series, because I don't feel fully sure if Batman Mystery of the Batwoman is in the same continuity as Batman the Animated Series and New Batman Adventures, but it feels like it is, but it's hard to know for sure. But out of the films, it did feel like my least favorite, but I did like it. I thought it was a solid, entertaining Batman film. After rewatching it a bunch of times and thinking about the film, in my personal opinion, I do enjoy it more than Mask of the Phantasm, and I could definitely understand why other people wouldn't feel the same way. I don't feel like it's as emotionally impactful as Sub Zero, but on an entertainment level, I think it works really well. What I like about Batman Mystery of the Batwoman is it feels like a nice, fun Batman adventure. It doesn't feel like the most complex thing or anything, and I don't think Batman films have to be that. I feel like it feels very much what I would want from a Batman film that didn't have a big theatrical release. A film that's fun to watch, has some fun villains and cool action scenes and some good moments for Batman, and it just feels like a very nice, solid film to have a little bit of fun with. I really like the Penguin in the film. I think that David Ogden Stiers was a wonderful choice to voice the Penguin. I think that he is very entertaining in the role, and I do really like Paul Williams too. And it does feel a bit confusing to have a new voice actor if it isn't in the same continuity, but regardless, I do love David Ogden Steyer's performance, and I love Penguin getting to have a really big role in the film where he appeared pretty often in the new Batman ventures, but often felt a little bit in the background. I like that he feels like the main villain of Mystery of the Batwoman. Penguin is one of my favorite villains, and he tends to always be good. It's hard to think of a single bad version of the Penguin, and I do love him in Mystery of the Batwoman. It's cool to have Rupert Thorne back. Um, Really cool to I think it was John Vernon. I think it was really cool to have him voice Rupert Thorne one last time. And Rupert Thorne's pretty cool in the film. I like him and Penguin working together. I think that's a fun idea. Um, and then the other character working with them, I think, was a character for the film. I think it was like a Carlton Duquesne. And he's a character with some nuance. He has a little bit of character development that I think is pretty interesting, and I think Kevin Michael Richardson did a really good job at voicing him. And there's some interesting stuff involving the Batwoman character and Batman trying to find out what's going on. And the surprise about what's really going on, I think, is really fun. I do really like the big twist that's thrown out. And like Mask of the Phantasm, it is a film about romance, and I'm not a big fan of the romance in Mask of the Phantasm. I personally prefer what's done in Mystery of the Batwoman because it does feel more casual, it doesn't feel as rushed. It feels like a relationship that I think makes sense in the context of the film. I don't think it's the most interesting thing or anything like that, but I think it's fine. And it does feel like the film is focused on Batman. I mean, it's also focused on Batwoman, but it doesn't feel like Sub Zero, which is basically feels like a Mr. Freeze film with Batman as the supporting character. Mystery of the Batwoman does feel like a Batman film, which is good. Um, and I think it does help me like Sub Zero focusing on the villain more because there's plenty of films that focus on Batman. Bane shows up for a while with the typical role of him being the big muscular guy that wants to fight Batman. I feel like the film tries to give him a little bit more than just the muscle guy, but um, basically in the climax, this film goes on. It basically feels like he's the strong guy that Batman fights. And it's fun for action scenes, but it's one of those things where Bane doesn't feel like one of the more exciting Batman villains. Doesn't feel like he's being lived up to his full potential. Um, and I don't remember how to pronounce the actor's name, but I think it's a different actor than who voiced Bane in Batman the Animated Series, which also makes the is it in the same continuity question come up. But I do like the different voice actors for Bane. But the characterization of Bane, I felt like was a bit off. I think that Batman is really good in the film. Like the new Batman Ventures, I'm not a huge fan of the Bruce Wayne design because Batman Mystery of the Batwoman, I think, has the same character designs of the new Batman Ventures, and I think it's in the same continuity as it. Like, I really like Penguin's design, and a lot of the designs look pretty good. Rupert Thorne looks solid. I like Batwoman's costume. I really like Batman's costume. Um, but the Bruce Wayne design, I unfortunately am not a huge fan of. I do think it looks a little bit better in Mystery of the Batwoman than the new Batman Ventures, but it's not I much prefer the Batman the Animated Series design for Bruce Wayne. There is a interesting scene. Barbara Gordon shows up, and I think she's only in one scene, which is a bit unfortunate. And her scene is interesting, where it's clear that she has feelings for Batman, which, to be fair, that I think that was established well in the well, I think it was the last episode of Batman the Animated Series, Batgirl Returns, uh, where she was dreaming about Batman, and I think they were about to kiss in her dream. But the scene is kind of weird in the context, where Bruce Wayne is clearly feeling uncomfortable about that, and quickly gets off the phone, which is pretty funny. And I think it could have been a fun idea if Barbara had feelings for Batman, but Batman just was against that, and then just wanted her to be a trusted teammate and a good friend, and that would be it. But considering how things later went, it's kind of weird. And if Mystery of the Batwoman is in the same continuity as things like Sub-Zero, it is weird because Barbara used to date Grayson, and I figure she wouldn't want to go to Bruce Wayne, who I think is basically Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne, I think, is basically Grayson's adopted father. I feel like that's very, very weird. And so I don't fully know if Mystery of the Batwoman is in the same continuity as the new Batman Ventures. I definitely thought it was as a kid, but now I feel confused about it. And the barber scene, I think, does raise some questions, but it is one scene. I do think it's an entertaining film. I do love the song that plays during the closing credits. Very fantastic, memorable song, one of my favorites. And I do think that Batman Mystery of the Batwoman is a very fun film and an underrated film.